Good morning. It is Monday, January 6th, 2025. Believable Monday morning caffeine. Regina Musser is with us. Chuck Cook is with us. Randy Rhodes will be with us momentarily. Uh, we were live for about a half a
Hey,
second
Chuck.
on
Hi,
the
Regina.
profile, and then all of a sudden it went away. So I don't know.
He's probably out shoveling snow.
I'm assuming I'm assuming we're live, but when it shows up
Or he's
on the
reading something,
profile, as
knowing
you see, I
Randy.
know we're going to go assuming that we're live. A
It's
lot of
on
things to
Facebook.
discuss today. The anniversary of January 6th, and prisoners still in jail. Should Biden pardon them? Yes, I think he should. Will he? No. Or maybe he will at the last moment. Uh,
My Facebook says that you're on.
okay. Randy Rhodes says he is here and waiting. Randy, I don't see you. So,
Randy's
I don't know what's going on.
missing in action.
He's,
We're sending
I
a
don't. I don't
posse.
see that you're
he's stuck in a
right.
snowdrift.
I don't see that you're here, Randy. So,
He's stuck in a snowdrift.
if you show that you're here, I would suggest that you log out, come back. Right. I only see that three of us are here, and the three of us are on. So try reconnecting to the broadcast. And we'll
I'm
see
getting
four.
I'm getting an error on Facebook, waiting for the live signal.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. It was live. Uh, I saw it. The red circle was around my profile picture, and then when I went to tap on it, it went away. So we may or may not be live. But usually, what happens in that case is
Mine
that
says live.
they just wait. But, okay. Usually, when I don't see it, it
Randy.
usually just means that they will post it as a podcast once it's done. But if you're seeing it and Chuck is seeing it, then I'm going to just assume it's my Android tablet acting up and deciding it doesn't want to. It doesn't
I
want to,
just
which it does that. But anyway, we got a lot of important stuff to talk about today, so I'm not worried about if I can't see myself on. If I can't see myself on. Randy, you do have a link, but I will do this. I will send you a link again. Uh, two lines up from where when I last talked. There was a link there. I don't know what happened to it, but I will send it again. And,
man, poof. Now there
yep,
was
there it
only
is.
two.
Yep, yep. So I don't know. So Randy, there's the link.
I can send it.
But if you scroll up, it was yeah. If you scroll up to 9:34 a.m., Randy, that's when I sent you the link. But take that and try that and see if that will let you come in. I'm rebooting the chat room monitor that I used to
He's in the
see
green
if
room. He's in the green room.
he is in the he is in the green room. He is in the green room, and now he is with us.
Hey.
And these things just these things just happen. We do the best that we can, but sometimes I even confuse myself. But Randy Rhodes, our news director, will keep an eye on the news monitors throughout the day. We do not write any of the news that Randy reads. Uh, Often we mention where we got it from, often we don't. But to avoid any copyright violations, we will acknowledge that we get our news from other news sources,
Wow.
and if those news sources don't want us to use them during the live broadcast, please let me know, and we won't. We'll find others that will allow us to. Uh, uh, in radio, we called it rip and read news. You used to walk over to the the Associated Press teletype, and just grab the latest off and just start reading it. And here we kind of do the same thing. We always bring the most live news that we can, and we appreciate the fine job that Randy Rhodes does as our news director. So, I do want to talk about January 6th, as I had said with Regina and Chuck in the green room before we came on. I personally think that President Biden should issue a preemptive pardon for every one of them, even if they were found guilty of things. A preemptive pardon that removes it. It does not go on their permanent record, and that's just the way it needs to be. He probably won't. Regina mentioned that he hasn't yet pardoned Hillary Clinton. If he pardons Hillary Clinton, gives Hillary Clinton a pardon in any way that means that she doesn't have to testify on anything that she ever did. I think that will be the grounds for President Trump to go to the Supreme Court and get a legal understanding on what a president is and isn't allowed to do. And on that note, let's get into today's testimony. We are live on the Dave Gorman profile. There is a chat room going there. We're also live on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel where there is a live chat going over there. And William Rayfield, who was going to be our guest this morning, got called into work at the last minute and could not join. So if people are watching and they want to join the broadcast this morning, you're more than welcome. Let me or Randy know, and one of us will send you the link. And with that, what's new and exciting, Randy?
Well, I don't know if you guys took notice, but overnight, the Prime Minister of Canada has made the decision to step down. So he is going to be resigning. Also, the person, another high official, I posted it on my Facebook account. Give me 1 second to pull it up. He was a high flanking person. Here we go. Canada's finance minister resigns, and then after that, that's when Trudeau made the decision that he was going to step down as well. So, if there was ever a good time to bring Canada on as the 51st state, now would be a good time. They have no leadership. Uh-oh.
Well, I think they will elect another person. The only problem I have with bringing Canada in as a state is that the amount of money that Canada will expect from the government, just like all of the other states, and that will take away from money that the other states.
It's too bad that we don't have anyone from Canada that we could reach out to and say, "Hey, what's your thoughts on, on the conversation?" Have one from various parts of Canada because they're all affected differently by, just like the United States. We have our blue states who absolutely love the way the administration is screwing the vast majority of the American people, and then you have the other part of the country where Regina said she's in the green room.
Okay, hold on. He's back. Yep,
and then you have the other part of the United States where we totally hate what's going on with the government. So I think if Canada were to become a state or a territory of the United States, it would only mean good things for them. I mean, we're already probably protecting them from any type of outside attack from Russia or China or someone like that. We're already, doing trade with them. And I'm sure, there's a lot of Canadians who come into the United States for work or for shopping, and they go back across the border to their hometowns. I'm sure that's going on. But with them having Trudeau for the past, I think it was like 6 years, whatever, and he totally turned into a socialist nation. He took away their guns, took away their First Amendment rights, and a whole bunch of other stuff. that they would want to have a leadership like Trump. But at the same time, they probably say, "Yeah, but look what you guys had for the last 4 years. We don't want to go through that ourselves." So there's a lot to be said for both. But you have this beautiful continent. Just put it under one government leadership, and let's go for it.
I don't. I could see Canada wanting to team up. I don't see Mexico. That Mexico is going to give up its sovereign status of being its own country and become of the United States. I could see advantages, of course, with Canada, our partner on the Keystone XL pipeline, because Canada does frack. Canada was going to frack and send frackings down to Texas refineries, which would help significantly lower the price of gas by increasing the volume of gas. So that could necessarily be a positive move for uh, for Canada as a country, as well as Canada as a state.
Yeah.
I just think while we're working on ways to, with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, working on ways to cut the amount of taxes that citizens have to pay, uh, bringing in a state that is larger than California. Uh, I, I'm assuming doesn't have an economy that is as large as California's, because California would be the fifth largest country as far as uh, economics goes. But I think we need to clean states long before we start adding territories and or states. But
Yeah.
you know that
Yeah.
that's just my
Hey,
humble
moving on.
burn.
Moving on. CNN just announced that Elon Musk is uh, a snail hair closer to being $1.6 billion richer. Um, he because the Italian prime minister just that a couple days ago the Italian minister paid Trump a surprise visit, and it was a surprise visit. He didn't know she was coming until she showed up and said, "Hey, can I talk to you?" So they had a meeting, and I'm not saying that this is result or one of the results of their meeting, but it looks like Italy is going to provide SpaceX with a $1.6 billion deal uh, for, I guess, communications, like their satellite systems for communicating. So that's a nice little hair in his hair feather in his hat.
But I think it's been his idea to eventually be the number one internet. I mean, the number one network on the internet. He gives it to countries around the world during uh, bad times to make sure they have communications. So, you know, a country deciding they want to acquire space, Starlink, and its technology. It's a it's a very good thing. I mean, personally, I think that if you could give it free, or if you could give it free here in the United States, he probably would. Uh, it's a great network, but the cost is usually out of the reach of most American citizens.
Yeah, the startup cost is pretty darn high.
Yeah,
Um, I think the monthly overall it would be very uh,
the,
uh,
right.
competitive.
The box I believe is $600. The monthly service I think is running around $125 a month, which is probably, like you said, in line with most of what America is paying for cable and internet together. Uh, So,
And that's like half what I'm paying now. Because right now I'm paying like $220 a month for my internet.
well, the business expense, the business rates, I believe, are higher and can be significantly higher. But uh, it appears to be a very reliable network. He's blasting more satellites up into space almost every other day, improving the quality of the network. But
So is it snowing where you're at, guys?
not here.
No, it is. Oh shit! I don't even see my temperature. Huh? It's like 20 degrees here in Wisconsin, southern Wisconsin.
Okay,
Sunny out.
well, here it's 30 and snowing like a mother. I'll
Yeah.
tell you, I woke up to it and it's still coming down. They closed down the schools, which is the big surprise there. Um, but I'm just wondering. Oh, okay, so we're expected to get between 6 and 8 inches before it's done. Okay, I'm not going outside for a while.
I would recommend that you probably go. Here in Florida, it's 68 degrees, feels like 68 degrees. Yesterday it was 68 degrees, and I think felt like 65, only because there was a slight breeze. I'm happy with that because we were uh, dealing with 35-degree mornings and hoping that it went up from there. And we didn't move to Florida for 35-degree mornings because we dealt with that in Connecticut.
So, any ideas? I'm reading the article now about the reason why the Minister of Canada is stepping down. But while I'm doing this, do you guys have any thoughts as to why he's stepping down?
They don't like it.
Just besides that,
Uh, I really haven't followed it. Larry Burns, who was often in the audience of the American Rebellion, lives in Canada, and he can probably tell you, or if anyone is watching and they live in Canada or they know, they can
well,
they
one
can
thing is they're
probably
blaming Trump.
blame
Uh,
Trump for
uh,
what?
because of the turmoil between our two countries. That's one reason why they're using to tell Trudeau to step down. Also, because of the United States results in the election being so conservative. Plus, I think Italy went conservative as well as I think another nation went very conservative. The liberals in Canada are afraid they're going to get trounced because the people are tired of what they've been doing. So they're afraid that with him in power, they'll definitely lose the upcoming election from the liberal standpoint. Um,
Well,
yeah, so it might be a bag of movement going on in Canada. That would be nice, right?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know if Canada invested in the actual Keystone XL pipeline themselves, or if we built it and we were going to give them use for it. But I know that they're angry at us that it didn't do what it was supposed to do. Like I said, oil shale from them was supposed to go down to the Texas refineries, be made gas, and then go back up the pipeline. Some of it was going to go back up the pipeline into Canada and probably bring their gas prices down. And that's not Donald Trump who shut it off. That's Joe Biden and the Democrats.
Hmm.
You know why? Because they want to sell electric cars. You know,
Yeah, uh, it was on Jerry's show where I forget who said it that the car that was used for to explode in front of Trump's hotel was
yeah,
was was
Las Vegas, it was
was
a Tesla
bulletproof.
Cybertruck.
I didn't know. Though. Why would you make a bulletproof car for citizen
Well,
civilian purchasing?
the question that I have is that both vehicles, the Ford F-150 that was used uh, wherever, and the Cybertruck, were rented from the same company, and I'm wondering if terrorist organizations, if it turns out they were involved in this, are involved with that rental car company. Plus, you also don't know how long they had either vehicle before to make any modifications that they wanted to make. But, I don't know why Elon Musk is selling. Well, from what I understand, bulletproof cars, you can't buy a bulletproof car through the FBI. You have to apply and give them a reason why you need a bulletproof car. So if that car was made bulletproof, the question becomes, did they go through the FBI and the proper channels to have that car made bulletproof? And if Elon Musk is selling every single one of them made Cybertrucks made bulletproof, then there needs to be some explaining there.
But you take the weight of the batteries and the armor and all that other shit. Just think of the damage it's doing to our roads, our bridges.
Well, the other side of that is that if you talk about the average Tesla battery has 6,000 cells in it.
Yeah.
That battery's got to weigh a significant amount of weight.
And it tears the roads up.
Well, okay, but we pay the government excise tax, which is basically a use tax of the roads, as long as you own a vehicle, and that's supposed to go toward maintaining the road. If you don't want people to drive in your city or town, as the government, don't maintain the roads, and a lot less people will drive, I believe.
Well, it looks like China is taking a page out of Russia's. Let's cut the underwater cables to make our adversaries upset. So you know what Russia was accused of cutting the cables underwater. Here, China did the exact same thing. They severed AT&T cables near Taiwan that serves between the United States and Taiwan. So now
that's not an accident. That is not an accident. That's a means of cutting out their communications, or a good amount of their communications with the outside world. And as an act of war, that's one of the first things you want to do. You want to take out all of their communication with the outside world, as well as inside of that country, because once you do that, you just come in and do whatever you want.
True.
Wherever you want, whenever you want. And China wants Taiwan back. And I'm sorry, but they shouldn't have them. And I believe that the plan with Taiwan was for us to move some chip manufacturing into Taiwan to make up for the fact that China claims that there are chip shortages all the time. Why? Because they're not making them as fast as we need them. Why we ever let Silicon Job Valley, as I call it, relocate to China as the chip manufacturing capital of the world, to me, that makes no sense at all. I mean, share technology with other countries if that's what you're going to do, but when it comes to manufacturing that technology, do not allow another country, even if they're your ally today, to become the exclusive spot for making that. Let them continue to make inferior chips as long as they want, because those inferior chips allow your telephone that you paid $1,500 for in the United States to be on Facebook Marketplace tomorrow for $49. You know, I, that to me is we have to come to a point where we say, yeah, well, we will share some things with everybody else on Earth because maybe that's the right thing to do, but the exact quality to where maybe they're going to make something that we make that we rely on, you know, giving them an upper hand and being able to use it against us. No, that's wrong. And if you look at some of the carcasses of the bombs that bombs that were fired into Ukraine or fired into Russia, you open them up, and they were built in Russia, and they have U.S. parts in them that they bought on the
Yes,
black
and
Right.
market.
some of those parts are SpaceX parts.
Well, yeah. So if they're getting SpaceX parts on the international market and using them against other countries without going through the United States uh, industrial or defense industrial complex and buying them, something's wrong. They're taking our technology and they're winning wars. They're helping Russia win a war in Ukraine with our technology. That should not be allowed. They didn't buy it legally. They got a hold of it, like I said, through the black market. We need to stop that. But like I said, and I keep saying, war to me is just getting to be the wrong way to resolve any solution because now a kid sitting in front of a computer in pick a city in the United States can be engaged in a battle with someone sitting in front of a computer in China, sitting in front of a computer in Ukraine, and it's just one big video war game. Why? Because we don't want to talk to each other. We don't want to sit and see if we can work it out. You know, we we coexisted for a long time. We coexisted with Russia even before Gorbachev, broke it up and gave everybody their own individual sovereignty. We coexisted. There was a Cold War, and the understanding kind of was, you don't mess with us, and we don't mess with you. You don't go after our allies, we won't go after yours. And you do what you need to do, and allow me to do what I want to do. Or often, what I say is the Jerry Michaels decision. You you do what you want to do, but make sure it doesn't affect me, and I'll do whatever I want to do, and it doesn't affect you. Regina is back, so give me a moment to.
Did you see in the news? This one here I'm taking. It's called Tag Tick, but it's on my MSN feed. Um, but it was on another news yesterday. I forget where I saw it, but Ukraine used for the first time some new missiles that could shoot into Russia. Now, these are American missiles provided to Ukraine courtesy of Biden, and Ukraine fired them for the first time. So again, it's a red line that Ukraine crossed using this type of weaponry against Russia. Uh, Luckily, Russia was able to shoot all 8 of the missiles down, so they're very pleased about that because these missiles are supposed to be very sophisticated and very powerful. Um, so now Putin rightfully is pissed off that they're using these American-made weapons against our country, and again, is threatening to bring some form of attack against the Western nations. Um, we have what
Not the dream.
14 days until assholes out of the White House. He still has enough time to drag us into a war.
He does, but I am going to implore that Speaker of the House Johnson, who's a Republican, lower the boom, Mr. Biden, if he does or attempts to do anything to bring us into a war that he does not have the authority to declare war. Number one, number two, with his presidency being done in what is it, 14 days, maybe, he should not have the authority to even entertain the thought of bringing us into a war, because
I think he already did.
Russia and Ukraine is going to come down to this. Trump's going to come back and he's going to say to Zelensky, "We're not sending you any more money. Do whatever the hell you want. We're not sending you any more money, and we're bringing back everything that we gave you under Joe Biden, because unlike Afghanistan, we're not leaving it there when we leave. We're making sure that we take all of it back. Money that we gave you, will we ever see any of it back? I don't know. But war hardware, war supplies, military personnel to operate that, we're taking it all with us. Period.
Do you see what Biden just signed this morning?
No, what did he just sign?
He just signed a bill stopping all drilling, period, everywhere for 20 years. How can he can't?
But is that a bill that Congress, the House and Senate, passed and sent to him, executive order that he just wrote?
It's an executive order, and I guess it's fixing it. I don't see how that's.
The executive order can be overturned.
Right. Executive orders only go from when Dave, the president, signs it till Regina Mussier becomes president and she rips it up.
That's right.
It's only good. So, I mean, he could say until the end of the earth. He could word it however he wants. But every president pretty much sits down and rips up every executive order signed by. Only one I know of that they did not is Biden signed net neutrality, which gave control of the internet to the FCC because he reclassified it as a telephone company, and some other, and gave made some other things. That's the only one that stayed into effect that I know, from Obama to Trump 1 to Biden, and will probably remain the same in Trump 2, only because Trump's FCC chairman is a Republican who was an FCC commissioner going through all of this, and he wants crap to change anyway. So, but yeah, executive orders don't continue unless a president decides, "Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. I'm going to continue it."
Well, one thing that Biden did was he, not him, I'm sure someone else is going through all the books to see what they could do to screw Trump over these last few weeks. But they found an old law from 72 years ago that was put into effect to protect the outer continental shelf from being drilled for oil and fossil fuels and so forth. So it's a 1953 law that people forgot about and just kind of like stepped over. So he's bringing it. They're bringing it out. They're dusting off the dust, and they're putting it back into effect, saying that Trump cannot drill in these areas on the offshore. Now, obviously, he can go to Congress and try and get the law overturned. But right now, that's going to slow him down for any type of offshore drilling.
That's ridiculous.
Offshore drilling, I think, deserves more time to look at and more time to make sure that where they're drilling and how they're going to drill it is safer. But my belief is that no government agency should be selling oil leases where you can't drill.
Correct.
Or they're going to come back later and you can't drill.
Our beach is since that oil spill. It's never. There's still oil. You dig in this. All they did was cover it up. That's all they did was cover up all that oil. That's why they don't want you digging in the sand, saying that it'll collapse on you. No, they don't want you digging in the sand because they don't want you digging up them plumes of oil.
But
I don't go to the beach anymore.
Right, but if that's what everybody understands, that it's not safe to drill, or we're going to cause environmental damage if we drill in a certain location, that makes sense. Because I believe Nikki said that on the American Rebellion, because he has experience in working on oil rigs and all of that and drilling, that the company that is going to drill is on the hook to prove that it's safe to drill in wherever they got that lease. But then again, it comes back to me, if Biden sold a bunch of leases that were going to be offshore drilling, knowing he was going to ask Congress to pass a law, or he was going to write an executive order that said you can't drill there, then he needs to refund all of that money that oil company paid for that lease and exchange it for a lease where they can drill. Because the problem is here is that I don't necessarily believe that any oil company is going to intentionally drill where it's not safe to drill. Maybe they will. We have so many capped wells because Biden decided he didn't want us drilling where it was safe to drill for hundreds of years. Or we just have so many capped wells that if we investigate them properly, and Nikki said you can't just pop the cap off of a capped well and start drilling. You have to do it safely. You have to let it off properly. You have to capture that gas properly. You have to treat it all properly. But we have a right to be energy dependent on ourselves and not on anybody else. And I don't believe that every well that was capped just because either they got all the oil they could out of there. And if they did, then it needs to be like cement blocked or something. Pour cement down in there, and we just can't drill on it anymore. The oil companies have to accept that. But if we just have a well that under Biden, just because he doesn't want it, then like I said.
Okay, so here's an update what you guys are talking about on Fox News. Biden bans new oil and gas drilling across 625 million acres of U.S. coastal territory. That's a big chunk of land.
Well,
yeah,
but
that's from the East Coast all the way up, man.
Yeah. But if we have safe places where we can drill on land in the United States, that's where we should be drilling. I don't necessarily agree that we should be doing any drilling or operating wind farms offshore, because regardless of what all the companies involved in say, I believe no one's going to tell us the honest what the damage would be.
Well, along with that ban on the land, he's also banning natural gas water heaters.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Well, he's going to ban natural gas water heaters.
That's the only thing I got to heat my water.
Right. He's going to ban executive gas.
That don't make no sense.
Gas heaters, which has been how we have heated our country for like 276 years now.
Listen, my little space heater just went out on me, my electric heater. So I was like, okay, I don't have my gas heater. Went out. It was an old-fashioned, real old one, and it quit working, so I got to get a new one. Well, I said this morning, I am not freezing.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm not freezing.
Joe Biden is going through this fit of he's gonna write executive orders on anything he can, thinking that he's going to stop Donald Trump, thinking that he's going to cause problems for Donald Trump. My question to Joe Biden is, well, if you thought that there were going to be all these problems with Donald Trump becoming president again, why did you drop out? I don't think we're ever going to get the truth as to why he dropped out. I don't think we're ever going to get the truth as to why Kamala Harris seized the nomination and ran. Because I have to believe beyond the shadow of doubt that they knew she would not defeat Donald Trump. Period. Especially when it came to the southern border, because as borders are, she didn't do anything.
Harris was Obama's pick, though. See, that's why they backed Harris like they is because of Obama.
Okay, well, and see what that got Obama.
Yeah,
I think
Obama's on the shit list.
I think Obama is done. I mean, as far as running the deep state, he might be a high deep state operative, but when it comes to the Democrat Party making decisions, I think they're done with him.
He's done.
I think they're done with him.
So you guys go and watch the SpaceX launch of their next group of Starlink satellites?
No.
Yes.
Probably not. Probably not.
Love it.
Really.
I think that is so awesome.
I just love the way.
I want to go up in a rocket.
I just love the way they have their craft that's in space, and it just kind of like just drops down. And it reminds me of some sci-fi movies, and when you see them, the links are like almost like a mesh over in space, covering the area of our planet. It almost looks like, God, I hate to say it, but they could be, reversed and be some type of weapon that can rain down hell all over the planet, or it could be used to activate a force shield protecting the planet. But that's just the way it looks. Because when it drops out and goes into orbit, it looks like this damn web across this area of the planet. It's really neat.
Yeah. And I mean, I would watch the landing because I still think that thing coming down, however fast it's coming down, the arm comes out and catches it.
Yeah.
Down. And I mean, that unfortunately, the words are rocket science. And it is rocket science. But it's so beautiful to see that happen.
It is. When Elon went up and saved the astronauts and they come down and they landed at Pensacola Beach, we were out at the beach watching it come down. That was the coolest. But it was on fire. We thought they were all dead because the thing caught fire before it hit the water. I mean, it was engulfed in fire. I mean, engulfed.
Yeah.
It was like, is anybody alive?
Yeah, I mean, 218 days they're up there, for God's sake.
It's more dramatic effect. That thing coming into the atmosphere, it's so hot. You're seeing fire because they're not dropping them into more.
No, they had malfunction.
Yeah. Just
something with the capsule when it was coming down, there was a part of it that burnt and the whole thing engulfed. It's a good thing it hit the water when it did, or all of them inside would have been burned up. They'd have burned up.
It's not a perfect means of doing what we do in any way. I mean, you got the space shuttle went up and blew up because of whatever caused it to blow up. Maybe
I would love to be in a rocket circling
up there anymore. What do you think, Chuck?
Yeah, it's interesting, but interesting, but not interesting enough for me to watch. Of course, then again, now all we have is internet, so I don't really have live TV. I don't watch TV at all. And we're paying $80 a month just for internet, but I get most of my news off of the internet.
SpaceX
is what it is.
Roku. I got Roku. I don't have cable or nothing.
And SpaceX
I just watch
the space station and put in slot machines.
Now that slot machine, I can get real used to. Button, pull the lever. Button, pull the lever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I got that for $850 delivered. So yeah, not bad.
That's
It's
awesome.
on
I love
Chucky's
slots.
Casino on
I
coming to
love
Mars.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get
I love.
we're going out to Iowa on Wednesday, so I won't be available
Going where?
Wednesday. Out to Iowa, out to the casino.
Okay.
Got to go out and get some more cigarettes.
Nice. Out there.
Yeah.
Make sure you clean your ass this time so that when you're done, you just take their money and you go home.
Okay.
You know,
Hey
'cause
Chuck, you need to take my son with you and play blackjack. He counts cards.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't play that. I just play the 3 real slots. That's it. That's all I like to play.
So now the Iowa
That's-
casinos are going to be
that's what I
looking for
play.
your son and Chucky when they get there.
All said and done and told, I won 10,000 out there last year, and I lost 7, so I came out 3,000 ahead. So you know what? It's play money.
Hey,
So
it's play money. There you go.
I wish
I'll
I
take
had
$100.
10,000.
If I lose it, I lose it. If I win, I win.
yep,
It is what it
I
is.
wish I had 10,000 to lose like that.
yeah. I just go out and
I used to go every weekend, but now I just go once or twice a year.
yeah, I go out usually about every month, month and a half, and it's enjoyment for me. It just gets me out of the house, and
It is.
yeah, go out and get the cheap cigarettes
It
out
is.
there too. So yeah,
Yep.
It's
I
just
quit
not a
going
good-
after all the immigrants started taking over the casinos down here. It's just no fun to go anymore. It's nothing but the casinos are so packed with immigrants. You can't get in there and get to a machine.
wow,
So I don't even bother going much more.
yeah. But as long as I keep winning out there, I'll keep going. You know, it's just like I said, I won that much, but then again, I lost so much, and so net profit. Yeah, I made 3,000 all year long out there last year. So hey, why not? Yeah.
My dad wins every time. It makes me sick.
Yeah.
He keeps his numbers to his machine, so he knows which machines to play.
Yeah.
So
So,
it is what it is.
Musk is going to start production, ramping up production on his robots to go into the American homes to do dishes, to babysit, to walk your dogs, to drive to work, to actually do your work, do your yard work. Um,
Not my home. Not mine.
I'm sorry.
Nope. You're gonna have
After seeing that one video where the damn robots,
The robot ain't taking my job.
uh, well, it's where these robots decide to turn against their scientists who made them and picked up the guns and started blasting away. I'm sorry, and he has some good ideas, but a robot, and I can envision it in these damn sci-fi movies where the robots turned on their masters.
Yep, there's a young black guy, rich black guy that has a robot that is like his assistant, and if it does not like what he says or does, that robot comes at him. And I'm like, why would you have a robot that's trying to make you be something else? That's retarded. I don't understand.
Isn't today the day they take the verify Trump won the election?
Yep,
Yes.
they're supposed to. I think probably
They're
around
supposed
12.
Yeah,
Do we
they're
know what
supposed to.
time?
Will they?
About
It has yet to be
Do we know
determined.
what time?
I think 11 or 12. 11, well, 12 my time, 11 their time.
So I'd be interested to see if they do it.
Well,
Well, they're supposed to all show today, regardless of that snowstorm there. So I don't know.
under a Republican House, you have to assume that they're going to certify it. Under a Democrat Senate that knows that their Senate majority that knows they're going to be kicked out in a few days or kicked back downstairs in a few days. If Chuck Schumer is not lying through his teeth and really does want peace and bipartisanship.
You know better than that.
Well, I know, but you got it. Well, that's what he said. He was on all the broadcasts yesterday. So if he's telling the truth, then that's what he needs because he's got to understand more than anybody else. If Trump gets what he wants, how he wants it, because it's the right thing to do, he's less likely to start all of these investigations to go after all of these stupid people who did wrong things, except for certain ones that he's targeting. I read today he is targeting the DOJ operative who planned, counterintelligence operative who planned the Mar-a-Lago invasion because he believes that the Mar-a-Lago invasion, the raid, was illegal, and it probably was. Uh, Somebody within Trump's new Justice Department a special prosecutor needs to sit down with Joe Biden and ask him the same questions that Joe Biden was asked, Robert Hur asked him, and then see if they come to the same conclusion.
Well,
Because if they come to the
video of
what?
them claiming that when the guy come out and said that Biden can't be charged because of his mental capacity for classified documents, I want the video of where he sat down and talked to Biden. I want the video. I want to see.
Right. But I believe that Biden, in his diminished mental capacity, saw that the Department of Justice was going after Donald Trump for classified documents that they allege he stole as president. Joe Biden probably in his dementia said, "Hey, I'm president and there's nothing to stop them from ever coming after me." And then he realized what he had from when he was a senator and a vice president and who he showed them to, and all kinds of trouble he could have gotten into. And he said, well, I'll just come clean. But the Democrats also said that they knew in 2021 that he didn't have the mental capacity to be president.
Correct.
That just backs up my belief that I said all along. Kamala Harris was elected to be his vice president because she was going to use the 25th Amendment with his cabinet to vote him out. But what happened is the cabinet, the 5 secretaries, said to her, "Nah, we're not going to be the Democrats that vote out Joe Biden. It's just not going to happen. It just absolutely is not going to happen because it was political suicide and Hillary Clinton's for all. We're just not going to do it." So
I told my husband, maybe I should have been a whore and got on my knees and sucked some dicks like that to get up in that position.
I got a question for you guys. I'm looking here on my screen, and one of my contacts on Messenger, it says in green, ongoing call. Well, I don't have any phone calls active. And when I click on the guy's name and hover over the telephone at the top, it says join audio chat. What the hell is that?
Not a clue.
Means he wants to talk.
They did a bunch.
I guess I could click on it, see it's to the phone call in progress.
They did a whole bunch of updating to Messenger. Yeah, well, they did a whole bunch of updating to Messenger. They haven't told any of us what it was, other than end-to-end encryption, which means that your chats can't be listened to by anybody other than the people that are being involved. Not even Facebook, not even Meta, and that is 100% incorrect. Because if you think that Meta is going to give you total access to Facebook Messenger and they can't monitor it in any way, forget it. It ain't going to happen. It isn't going to happen. I mean, that's why BlackBerry got kicked out of Saudi Arabia, because the king started asking for for access to BlackBerry phones of terrorists to try to go through and figure out what was happening. Apple phones are the same way. People ask for Apple phones because they're encrypted or they're locked, and the only way to get in is for them to let
My
you
son just got
And,
a text from Cricket saying that they owe him, he'll be receiving a check for his iPhone because of Siri listening in on his conversation.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I saw a video yesterday
Whoa,
that
whoa, whoa,
gave
whoa!
you
How do I get on this deal? What's
if
the
you
what are the requirements?
there was a
They were
lawsuit,
sued.
and you're just going to have
They were
if you don't have a Cricket phone
Oh, I don't have
in
a
the
cricket
case
phone.
of
No, it's not
the
Cricket. It's
stuff,
all
then you won't get
iPhones.
one.
Anybody with an iPhone.
Okay.
Anybody
Okay,
with an iPhone.
then you have to
Siri
wait. Yeah,
got
then you have to
sued.
wait for
They were sued. Siri
Yeah.
lost their lawsuit, and they have to pay everybody back for listening in on their conversations.
right. Now the question will be whether or not
$20.
they go after other Apple devices. Like I had a Apple iPad Air 2 second generation that was 3G, and I wonder if they were listening to that. I still have an Apple account, so I mean they can find me. But hey,
I mean, if
they
anybody
want to
that's
send me $1 million.
anybody that's
They want to send me $1 million. I'll be more than happy.
but I mean $20. What's $20? $20 ain't nothing compared to what did y'all listen in on? What conversations did y'all keep that was
It was right. It was a class action lawsuit, and your son was down in the $20 after paying legal fees that that Apple had, whatever. But my belief is that, like I said yesterday, I saw a reel on Facebook that I didn't really pay any attention to, but it gave you the codes. No, it told you how to go in and turn off Siri so that she can't do that.
You can turn off all your tracking on your phones. Every track, like even when you buy a vehicle, that's the same thing when you buy a vehicle. You don't know it when you add your phone number, but they put your phone with that vehicle, and that phone helps them track your vehicle and everything that you do. So you have to, when you buy a car, you have to get on that app thing and deny.
The biggest problem with Google Maps is that you can pass a business that advertises on Google
Google Maps
and
will
not even go into that business.
Google Maps,
Right, but not even. Well, we use Google Maps because when I was in business, I used Google Maps because it really was the best.
My son is a very good hacker.
But the problem is,
my son is a very good hacker. If anybody tries to Google my address, it'll take you to Green Tree Trailer Park. It will not bring you to my house.
Okay, but the problem is with Google Maps, you can pull up next to a traffic light, and a week later, you get asked to write a review. They want to know how your experience was
that
at
intersection.
Doofus Brothers. And my problem is I write them back the same way every time. I was at a traffic light, and as soon as it turned green, it was an excellent experience. They've written me back later and said, so if there wasn't a traffic light there, right, so if there wasn't a traffic light there, with that business would have been a lot better because you didn't have to stop. I said, yes, exactly.
That part.
Or if Google Maps took me a different way so that I wouldn't pass that business. The biggest problem I have with Google Maps is what I call clusterfucks. All of a sudden, in the middle of your directions, they start sending you in the complete opposite direction. In circles the other way, and then all of a sudden drop you back.
I had an insurance convention to go to.
There's no reason for that. Nope. There was no accident. There was no catastrophe that we couldn't just keep going the way that we were going.
Right. Yeah.
And I think when I had the business, it would be, well, you guys added 45 minutes to the route, until the customer finally got mad at the driver and said, "Where are you going?" And the driver said, "I'm following Google Maps."
Mm-hmm.
And then the passenger would say, "Turn that thing off, and I will direct you in from now." And the extra added time that gets added to my car,
It's,
I'm not going to pay for.
it's
Right.
about 4 years ago. I had an insurance convention in Maryland, and it's a good thing I carry. I don't give a damn about the law. I don't have a carry conceal. I tote my gun anywhere I go, and I'm not registering it with no police station. Okay. So anyway, I'm on Google Maps. I'm headed to Maryland. Google Maps takes me into a sanctuary city. No joke. The dude at the gate told me, "You don't belong here. You're not even supposed to pull in the driveway. You're fixing to get hurt. You need to get the hell out your car right now." I pulled my gun. I said, "I'll get out my car and just when I want to. You need to back up off my car." And next thing I know, people were coming out from everywhere. I mean, the it was insane. I had to literally floor my car in reverse, pull out back onto the major highway, almost got in a wreck just to get away from this little pull-in driveway. Just that quick. That quick shit went real. I was like, "Oh no, I don't trust Google Maps for nothing." I paper map and I started back on the paper map. No,
And that's the problem with concealed weapons permits or federal permits that allow you to carry in every state.
I do it anyway.
When our insurance company, when I had the limo business, said they can carry the gun, no bullets in the gun, the bullets in the trunk in a separate case.
Wait, whoa. The bullets are in the trunk?
Depending on who it is and why they are in the car, why they are using
Illinois.
the car,
Florida's not.
then
Florida's three.
then it is okay.
Florida's only 3 states.
Right. Right, but it depends on why they are in the car, why they are who they are, why they're carrying the gun, and why they are in your car. Otherwise,
None of your business.
No, they can't. Well, unfortunately, I had customers that told me that doesn't work because I had customers who were going hunting. No, I had customers who were going hunting, and their rifles were in the trunk.
Well, that part I understand, but
and another thing, and they were told that unless they had a reason to be carrying their gun in the state they were going into, then it couldn't be on them until they got outside of the airport.
What if they're bodyguards? The bullets got to be in the trunk if they're bodyguards?
If they're bodyguards, then I would have just said that Chuck is whoever he is. Randy Rhodes is his bodyguard, and Randy Rhodes is carrying a gun.
I have a cousin that walks.
Most of the time in that situation, I had an off-duty police officer in the car carrying a gun who was there in the role of an armed escort. And you paid through the nose to have an armed escort in the car if you needed one.
Yeah.
But I didn't make the rules. That's just the way the rules
Well, down in Illinois.
My cousin.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Chuck.
Down in Illinois,
I
talked to a state trooper down there, and he said, I know you have one on you. And I said, well, yeah, he said, but the law says that you have to have it not chambered, which means no bullet in the chamber. Your magazine has to be like in a separate spot in the car, so like in the glove compartment. He said your firearm can be in your side pocket over here, but it can't be loaded.
Right.
I said, well, so if somebody starts coming at me with a gun, can I just say, well, wait a minute, let me get my gun and go.
Give me Bobos, put my gun together.
Yeah. It's bullshit.
I believe the exception. I believe the exception is if you go through I believe the exception is in your case, Chuck, because of your business, you can go through the Illinois Department of Transportation as well as the Illinois State Police and declare to them that because of your business, you need to carry a firearm to protect yourself and the
Nope,
truck.
not in Illinois. They have that. You have to go through Illinois FICA. You got to have a FICA card, which states that you have,
Okay.
and that's just bullshit.
What?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
So
See, Florida, the law just started January 1st. As long as you're a Florida resident, you can carry concealed.
Right.
But
Right.
you can't carry concealed in your vehicle. You have to have 3 moves to get to it in your vehicle.
Yeah.
Unless you have a carry concealed.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
So, all right, guys. Well, I gotta get going, but I just wanted to.
Okay, Chuck. I'm glad you came.
Talk to you all later.
I'm glad.
Yeah, take care, Chuck.
As I said, I didn't get. I took the class in California. I passed it, and then just decided that I wasn't going to carry. And I went back to my boss and I said, I took the class, I passed, I'm just not going to carry. And the owner of the company came to me and said, why aren't you going to carry? You took the class, you passed. And I said, because I don't want to carry. I said, I took the class and I got certified to carry because being a member of the operations staff of the company, I had to be armed. I said, I have 2 arms. And he laughed and he said, you're right. I said, I carry them with me whenever I'm working. And he laughed and he said, you're right.
That's
And then
funny.
he said, because I like you, you don't have to carry. You don't have to carry. Then we had sites where you could only be inside of the property or inside of their buildings if you were armed.
Right.
I had an exception at one place because we had guards that were armed and we had dogs that probably should have been armed. And one night, this guard called me 3 times in a row and said the dog was acting like she wanted to bite him. And I said, I know that dog. I said, I'm scared crapless of that dog. I can go up and do anything I want to that dog, and that dog knows that I'm playing with her. I can also yell one word in German, and that dog will rip up everybody around me. The third, I'm going to come up and I'm going to watch you. He was being aggressive with that dog. At the end of the shift, I fired him, and he said, why? And I said, because that dog is your partner. That dog will save your life and defend this entire building and everybody in it if she needs to. She is the sweetest. I think she was a Doberman. I said, she is the sweetest Doberman you will ever meet. She loves to play. But if you're being aggressive to her and she's snapping at you, that means you're being too aggressive with her and she's snapping at you, and I won't have it.
Correct.
Why would he be?
Why would he be? Because they wouldn't let me inside because I wasn't armed. I said, get the officer and the dog and the shift supervisor out here right now. They brought the 3 of them out, and I said to the supervisor, the on-site supervisor, he's doing something wrong with that dog. You watch him for the rest of that shift.
Well, just because I was,
go ahead.
I got a story. Just because I was communicating with my husband's uncle in Pennsylvania, he was at the Capitol on January 6th. He's the one on video with the American flag, and he's hitting a cop with the American flag. Okay. When they arrested him, because I had contact with him, FBI and sheriff's office showed up at my house, knocked on my door, and when I opened the front door, the dude flashed a blank piece of paper and said, I'm here to search your house, puts it back in his shirt and says, I'm coming in. I went to shut the door. He stuck his foot in the door. I said, you got 3 seconds to remove that foot or I'll remove it for you. He said, ma'am, we're here to search the house. You need to open the door. I pulled my gun, ultimate gunpoint, called the law, had my son call the law and tell the law, get your cop out of my mama's door. She fitting to shoot him. Next thing I
They
know, my
know-
whole yard is covered in cops.
They
Covered in
know, right? They know they have to show you the warrant. You have to
There
be
was
able to
no
read
warrant.
the warrant so that you can make sure once you let them in, that's what they're looking for.
There was no warrant.
That's, well, then they didn't have a right. Then you know as well as I do,
And
they
I
didn't have
had
a right.
every right to
in.
hold that cop at gunpoint. And I had him
They
trespass
assume,
from my
right?
yard.
They assume that you're just going to cower down
Stupid.
and let them in. The responsible ones know better than that. They know that
Not
they're going to
today.
knock on your door. They are going to knock on your door. They are going to say, "Step back. We have a warrant." Boom, and they're going to bust your door down, which means that
Mhm.
that you're going to at least talk to them, and they're going to show you the warrant. But
He knew Regina were fixing to shoot that ass. He seen it
No,
in my face. He seen it in my face. You finna get shot in the face.
there are as many bad people in law enforcement as there are good people in law
There is.
enforcement. Fortunately, everyone I know is one of the good people. Every once in a while, you might lose your head and do something that you know that you're not supposed to do. Like, and I was only, in operations of a security company. I wasn't a police officer. Never wanted to be a police officer. I wanted to be a dispatcher, and that's what I did. But then eventually they started saying, "Oh, we got to train you to do this, and we got to train you to do that. You got experience doing this, and you got experience doing that." And I said, "Well, does that experience pay me better?" And they said, "Yeah." So I said, "Okay, fine. I'll learn how to do this, and I'll learn how to do that." I had the option when I was working as a dispatcher to carry a gun because the dispatch office was a central station for an alarm company. I had a right, I guess, to carry a gun for that. I didn't. Actually, during the summer, as a joke, I used to carry like a 5-gallon super soaker.
Nice.
But realistically, most of my friends that are in law enforcement are responsible men and women. They understand what they can do. They know what they can't do. But yes, every once in a while, in the heat of the moment, because we're all human beings, you say or you do something that you know you're not supposed to do, and usually you take the heat for it. You take the heat for it later. My last job in Massachusetts, we had a site in Framingham, 1,500 unit apartment complex. And Framingham police knew that we were going to call them to back us up, regardless of what it was, even if it was something stupid, because if an arrest needed to be made, we were going to have them there to make the arrest. We did a co-investigation of it. And, that way we didn't have a tenant coming back to us going, you guys aren't allowed to do this. The police were here and the police would say, "Oh, unfortunately, ma'am or guy, they absolutely have the right to do this. It's in your rental agreement, whatever, but and I wasn't a security guard that had a chip on my shoulder and wanted to be a cop.
Yeah, a lot of them become cops because they have a chip on their shoulder.
Well, or a lot of them become a security guard while they're in the academy. A lot of them become a security guard while they're in the academy.
Yeah.
So that they're in an academy, so that they can at least work in something close to what it is. But our armed knew you don't pull that thing out of your holster unless you actually have a reason to fire it. And if you pull it, you better just fire it. That was a running joke. I used to say,
firing at.
If you pull that gun out of your holster and then decide you're not going to fire it, you better have. It's going to be treated just the same as if you fired it, because you have an hour and a half of paperwork you have to do. I got 2 hours of paperwork I have to do, and I know how much you guys hate doing paperwork.
Yeah. I think everybody hates paperwork.
I didn't, because my job was to do paperwork for covering the entire shift. So I mean, I got to a point where I could write three. Everybody jokes I write messages that go on forever. My reports were clear and concise, to the point. This happened. This is what we did. This is why we did it. And then, then I'd leave it. And if the owners of the complex needed more clarification, they would call me in and they would say, why were you doing this? Or why was one of your officers doing this? And pretty much that's how it went. Plus, I mean, I couldn't be at that 1,500 unit apartment complex the entire shift because I had other places I had to be.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
But, we had good people in the last job I had. But like I said,
We've got a really screwed up police department.
I make mistakes.
Yeah.
Our last sheriff was being investigated for sex trafficking, but they dropped the investigation against him because of COVID. But the 3 ambulance drivers involved went to prison.
I really wonder if that was a part of COVID. Meaning they locked us down thinking we wouldn't be out seeing.
Why they're trafficking girls and boys all over this state.
I have said before, and I wish the government would prove me wrong, but I have said before that I think people like Pablo Escobar, when we went to Mexico and brought him back to the United States forever, when Epstein went to jail, when Diddy may end up going to jail, it's because
this is my whole thing. If they can track down a terrorist and put a drone over a terrorist's head and blow his head off, they can find these missing kids.
If President Trump can have a drone put a red dot on your head, and then
they can find these missing kids.
And he says, please get your wife and your children, or all your wives and all of your children, and all non-essential people out of your house right now. And the guy says, why? Because you and I are going to have a conversation. And if it doesn't go well, you'll know.
You'll
know.
If they can do that, you can find these missing kids. I'm sorry.
They don't want to, because the kids are already in the sex trafficking business. This is part of, when you have the cartel who is bringing these kids across, and you have the Democrat Party who wants the borders open, don't you think that somehow, somewhere, the Democrats are collecting money or some type of other kickback to allow it to happen?
I'm sure they are.
That's why
we're not separating you from your children intentionally. We're separating you from children because if you're there with them, they won't tell us the truth.
Well, it ain't just sex trafficking; it's body parts.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Right.
Adrenochrome, their blood.
Is that everybody? We were watching a Law and Order the other day, and a girl had gotten raped, and they had to do some operation, I think, to relieve the pressure on her brain, and then to remove something else. But there was an incision that was noted. She died. Actually, she died. There was an incision that a doctor went in and took apart that they needed to get. There was a helicopter up on the roof waiting for, and the whole thing was about the doctor didn't get permission. And I know in the heat of that, parents, can't really just say, go do it. I hope that if I'm on the table somewhere and I die, and they run downstairs and say to Donna, can we take his eyes? Can we take his liver? Can we take his heart? They harvest out whatever they can, because I'm going to be cremated anyway. I don't think in my particular case with dementia and Parkinson's that they're going to
study your brain.
But I want, the going to let anybody take my brain because their agreement with me is that when I die, the only way they claim they can prove that I actually have the dementia is to do an autopsy of my brain. That bothers me too. That's a whole
brain
other
starts to shrink some, they call it dementia. But
but there are ways you can cure or recover some of your brain. Big Pharma doesn't agree, but I don't really care at this point who
prescriptions
agrees and who
work,
doesn't.
Dave. If prescriptions work, why do they have refills?
Well, prescriptions work. They have refills because it's doing its job. But that's not why we have. That's not why we have prescriptions.
You're wrong.
We have.
You're wrong. I'm sorry, but
Okay.
you're wrong. If prescriptions work, you wouldn't need them anymore.
Well, but it may be something that you have to take because it controls something
because you're
that
missing
has
some
to be
vitality in your body.
Okay. But I also believe that's
why they're saying they're weeds. We need to spray and kill all the weeds. Well, of course, that's medicine.
Okay.
Why not?
But our pharmaceutical industry works on something that I don't necessarily agree with. They find something that will treat something.
And then you have to get prescription for something else.
In the 50 years that they have patent, they find something else. It can be. They find a side effect, and it becomes side effect. It's like, honestly, I've said to my doctor, well, I'm taking this for this, and now you're telling me I have to take this to treat the side effects of this. So why am I taking this? Also, I agree that our pharmaceutical companies do not sell you a one treatment cure because they wouldn't make the same amount of money. They wouldn't make the same amount of money. There's a difference between selling you one pill for $50,000 that your insurance company will agree to pay, as opposed to insisting that you need to sit and take a bag of radiation into your body every other day for boatloads of money.
Yeah.
I mean that's just the way.
Has a brain tumor. Her first brain tumor, they went in and did surgery. When she woke up, she couldn't remember us. None of us kids growing up, we have to tell her, stories and that because she don't remember. She got a second brain tumor. They wanted to remove that one. It's the size of a grapefruit. She said, "No, sir, you're not touching it. You're not going in my head again." And they said,
"Well, you have a right to say that. You have a right to say that."
They told her, "You have 6 months to live with this brain tumor if you don't get it taken out." And she looked at that doctor and she said, "You know what?" She said, "God decides when I die." Do you know she 24 years with that brain tumor?
Oh wow!
She could have. My father,
years now. She's still been living with that.
My father survived testicular cancer. Unfortunately, when it started to come back, he never said anything to my mother. When my mother found out, it had been a year, and at that point, it had metastasized all the way up into his brain. The doctor said it's stage 4. At some point, you're going to die from it. At different times, they would come to him and they would say, "We can give you radiation, and you might get this much longer." And he said, "You know what? No. Why? Because I've already done everything I came down here to do. And if you give me 5 years, I'd rather just go now." And
my dad.
My
dad will be 81 in March. And it's like, I didn't think he'd live this life. He's the bionic man. Everything about him's replaced.
So he came to me and said, we can put one of those Elon Musk Neuralink brain chips in your head, and there's a 75% chance that everything that's wrong in your brain, we can probably correct it. No, I would probably look at them, and I've said to Donna, I would probably look at them and go, well, let's discuss it a little more, and then probably agree to do it. Why? Because what they told me in here, I only have 5 to 7 years, they said. I'm almost at 5 years with it. But I don't worry about it anymore.
This is how my dad.
I don't worry about that.
He said, Gina, if there is a way, say you're put in a coma, and in 2 years they say, hey, we want to take her off this machine. Well, if there's a miracle that can bring you out of that coma, would you want it? Well, of course. So, you know, I mean, there's something out there that can help. I'm all for it.
Right. The quality of Dad's life was that he had just gone through so much in the couple of years that he was stage 4 that he just said, I don't want to do it anymore. Me, I probably want to do it because I'm afraid as soon as I pass, you know, they're going to call Donna and go, you know, we could have done this, and it might have saved it. Also, in the case of Lewy body dementia, which is what I have,
that's what my
the oldest guy that could read on got it around the same age I did.
How old are you, Dave? Not to be rude.
I'm 62. I'll be 63 next week. He got it around. He was older than me, but he got it when he was 60. He lived with it until he was 82. He didn't die. Eventually he would have died from it, but that wasn't the cause of death. He had a heart attack and he died.
I worry about dementia for the main fact because my mom has it. My uncle passed of it. My grandfather passed of it. And I'm so petrified that I'm going to get it because I forget a lot. I forget all the time, but I don't know if that's just me or is that something wrong with my brain? I don't know.
I drink 30 ounces of coffee every day.
I drink a whole pot and probably 2 pots.
For the past 6 years I've been doing this. When we lived in Connecticut, we drank a pot of coffee a day. When I was doing radio shows in college, I took 2 little bottles of Mountain. Hey, how are you?
See, this is Kai. It's my 4-year-old grand. Oh, wait a minute. You just turned 5, didn't you?
No, 4.
You're fixing to be 5.
4? Oh,
You'll
wow.
be 5 for 15?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your birthday's coming up. You'll be 5 soon. All right, go play another one.
You're a great grandmother? I bet you are.
I got 10 of them, yeah.
But I never expected any because I never expected to ever be married. I thought my brother and I were going to live the odd couple relationship until one of us had to be sent to a home and the other one was just going to go with him. And we would just share a room. We just share a room at the home until we both passed. But I got married.
The best advice I ever got was from my stepmother. When I told them at 15, I've had enough of living with y'all and I'm moving out. I have a job and I don't need y'all. And the best advice she ever gave me was, Regina, you will figure it out or you won't. Have fun with that. Have fun with that. I told her I'm never having kids, and if I do, I'm gonna let them do whatever they want to do.
I know what I brought. I know what I brought with me into this world. Some of it has gone away. Other things have developed, as we all know. And my fear always was that my child would bring in some of or worse than what I did, and
Mine did.
I wouldn't leave them. I would be there, and it's my job to get them through it. But I would never forgive myself for having done that. I only had one. I had one by birth, and he was aborted. Long story. So I don't honestly know.
I raised 5, and out of my 5, I had 2 that gave me heart attacks. Yes.
Well, we have 3, and at one time or another, they've all probably given me a heart attack, but I probably deserved it. The youngest has 2 3-year-old grandson who is the ultimate car guy. So I know. even though we're not blood, I've passed something
Yeah.
something down, and a 7-month-old granddaughter who the first time we saw her just screamed the whole time we were there, and they told us that that's all she does.
What's
So I
the
was
matter, Randy?
she doesn't like anybody. Then we live with our 12-year-old grandson here in Florida, and
Hey, I've been quiet now for quite some time because I was trying to find something that makes sense to bring into the conversation. But the only thing that's really changing right now, I'm watching Newsmax live on my one screen, and they're talking about the J6ers, and they got showing a video of them walking through, and they're talking about Trump's going to pardon some of them. But they're also getting ready to certify Trump's election coming here soon. So I want to see that. I want to see what happens with that. But the only other thing that newsworthy is that you know again, it depends on where you get your news from. Russia is either getting their asses kicked or Zelensky's getting his ass kicked. Um, right now, you have to take into consideration that uh, uh, Putin not only has the war in Ukraine going on, but he has the tail end of what's going on with Syria and Damascus and so forth. And they showed this one submarine that has no longer has a port in Syria to go to because it's been taken over by Damascus. So he's losing there as well. But then you see, Ukraine, one uh, provider for news is saying that Ukraine surprised Putin in this retaliatory strike, and they're doing fantastic. And the next thing Russia is doing. So I don't know who the hell is winning that war, but the losers here are the soldiers who are fighting for either side as well as for the civilians in Ukraine. A little bit in Russia. They're getting some damage to their buildings, but not a hell of a lot. Not the total destruction of what's taking place in Ukraine, which is going to take generations to rebuild, if at all possible. Um, but I just hope that what they do is that they rebuild from scratch. Fresh ground, fresh foundation. Not what I've been seeing in the news here, where 5,000-year-old church found buried underneath. Blah, 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 blah. We came here to put in a new highway, and we found this city, and that's what they're doing. They're finding these churches are finding these uh, coffins with bodies inside that have been there for thousands of years because
Last
mankind
year,
has been building on top of each previous, civilization. So I just hope that what they do in Ukraine is do a clean sweep of the land, get it down to scratch, and then rebuild from fresh. Don't build on top of what's already there.
yeah,
I think that would be sad.
they're
Oh,
right.
dude,
They're not going to do that because to dig down as far as they may have to dig down, you're talking about just destroying an entire country before you can
Why not?
pack it back up and rebuild it. And
Why not?
when this is all done and Zelensky is booted out, the people of Ukraine are going to want the new leader to rebuild the country from the damage as fast
yeah.
as they can.
Well, look, I gotta get going. I got people's
Okay.
genealogy
Yeah,
to
you
work
do.
on.
Yeah, you do.
I know. Yeah, so folks, in case you didn't know it, I started working on as a gesture of goodwill. I've been working on Dave's as I have the free time. Came up with some pretty neat stuff, but I have this other person. She hasn't quite committed yet. Her name is Tammy Vogt, Vogt. She wants information about her dad's side, but I haven't really been able to talk to her directly. I'm getting just like second and third
I'm
third
shocked at
hand
mine.
information. And what I'm coming across is it's almost like there's a duplicate family because I'm trying to work on her father is the third in generation with the exact same name. So when I go to the grandfather, Ancestry finds this information for Maurice Sanders, but his name's supposed to be Woodrow Sanders. But when you look into like the death certificates and the obituaries, some of the kids' names match up for the Woodrow Sanders,
Right.
but everything is shown up as a Maurice Sanders. So until I
Okay.
talk to her directly, Maurice could be a nickname that he went by as well. I don't know. So I'm stopping work on her until she talks to me directly.
We ran
But
into that.
it's just really weird.
We ran into that with mine. And we
That is
almost
weird.
thought that
That's
there were two
weird.
specific families. But the only problem is there are it's one family, but a lot of names got repeated from one branch to
Yeah.
another. It's like
And
I know her mother. Okay,
and it's really
what, Regina?
confusing. Go ahead, Regina.
not to be rude or anything, but Tammy's mom is pretty. She's had quite a few men in her life, so it's a little confusing for Tammy.
Yes, that's why. Yeah, that's why I need to talk to her directly and ask some direct questions because I don't want. I actually
She only knows him by Woody.
what?
Tammy only knows her dad by Woody.
Yeah, and see.
He died when she was young. She was just a little
So
kid.
that's why I need to talk to her directly because she said that Woodrow is her dad is the third in line of the Woodrow Wilson Sanders names, which is fine. But when I get to Woodrow Wilson the second, that's when I come across this damn Maurice dude. So that's what I need to find out if maybe he went by, because, you know,
Knowing her mom, he probably was married to another woman, and he married her under a
yeah,
different
see,
name.
that's what I'm coming across too is she's, I can go ahead and add the name she's given me and work off that as well. But the marriage certificates and the marriage announcements I'm seeing are of a different woman. So it might just be I got to dig deeper to find announcements for her mom's her grandmother's name. But I need to talk to her directly just to get some things
Yeah.
worked out because I don't want to go 2 months into this and find out that half the
Right.
tree is wrong.
And not get paid for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't be doing something you're not getting paid
Yeah.
for it.
Plus, also, there's so many
I'd
different
like to-
people in the course of a family that will contribute into a tree, so that you might find it's like you found Marion somewhere, which I'm pretty sure is my grandmother, but her name was Marion, and we all acknowledge that. So I don't know if someone put in Marion. We knew her as Marion, but we all knew her as Miriam or May.
Yeah, Miriam's coming up as the name most, so that's what I'm gonna go with. But and so there are some things where I can work on it freely, but other times the people I talk to about getting some one-on-one FaceTime just make sure I'm going in the right direction. But one thing I'll find out first off is why this messenger is showing up as like a live phone call. So I'm gonna click on
They're working on it, so I wouldn't worry
I'm
about
gonna
it.
click on it and see what happens. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, you might want to go off and
Yep.
do
I gotta
that.
get going. Regina, I'll be talking later. Dave, same with you. Take care. Have fun.
Yeah.
If I need you guys, come shovel me out, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Randy. Always a pleasure. Anyway, it is 11:46. So, any final thoughts you want to say, Regina?
This was awesome. Let's do it again.
Glad you came.
Yeah, it was fun.
I'm glad you came.
Have a blessed one.
We do it again Wednesday, and you're welcome to join us with that. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do it at 7 p.m. Eastern. And show up on the American Rebellion and live chat. Tell me you want to come on. We'll copy that, John.
Fireball out.
Fireball up. Yep. All right. Anything else? All right. That's Regina Messier from one of Randy's genealogy clients. I see her in a lot of our groups on Facebook, and she sends me stuff on Messenger every day, which is probably why they're monitoring my Messenger. But I don't care. I don't care. I appreciate people that take the time to send me stuff on Messenger, and I do my best to get it out there as I can. It is a interesting day. It is the anniversary of January 6th. It is the day the presidential election is supposed to be certified. Will the Democrats try to do something to mess that up? I can't say yes. I can't say no. But give me the opportunity. You never know. They might. Joe Biden might. I don't really know. I just wish that they would. Everybody seemed to accept the results, or said that they would accept the results of the election, and then we can just get down to doing the work that we need to do. And if you're Joe Biden and you're just thinking that you're stuffing all kinds of things on the executive office of president that will keep President Trump from doing what he needs to do, what we have asked him to do, just stop, okay? You chose to step down and not run again, so you don't have any say in the matter. And making it intentionally difficult on the next president is just wrong. Finish packing the White House and go home to Delaware and do whatever you want to do, but you won't do it as president. That's all I have to say on that. People you gave the Presidential Medal of Freedom or whatever it's called, I called it the Golden Ice Cream Cone, to, I think you really needed to think about some of them that got it. You gave it to Hillary Clinton because it said you felt bad that she was under investigation by the FBI. Not prosecuted at all, but she was under investigation by the FBI for bad email stuff and breaking other rules, whatever. You know what? If she hadn't have done it, maybe she would deserve the award. George Soros, same kind of thing. Okay? Giving hundreds of millions of dollars to Democrat candidates and judges and district attorneys and this and that, and the other stuff, that doesn't get you the Golden Ice Cream Cone. The Golden Ice Cream Cone is the highest honor that a president can give an American citizen. And I don't even know if you have to be an American citizen. But, it should have been something they did that made America a better place, or would make America a better place, and not necessarily giving hundreds of millions of dollars to the Democrat Party justifies as something that would have made America a better place. He bought and paid for district attorneys, like I said, judges, whatever, House reps, senators, cabinet members, whatever he thought he could buy to get America under his way, the way he thought it should be. And that is not right. Okay? So take it for what it's worth. Go see if you can watch the certification of the election. Go search it in your favorite search engine and see if you can get to where it is. Or go look for it on YouTube or any other place you might be able to go watch it. Somebody might have posted it on Facebook already. Go watch it. Understand what's going on. I personally think that it's just going to be approved because if it isn't approved and put through the way it was, we, the people, elected Donald Trump, the president, And that's it. Then Joe Biden opens a can of worms for Donald Trump and the Republicans to go after anyone in his administration that we think had a hand in interfering with the election, and that's a crime. Okay? And it's time that it comes to an end. If you like the broadcast, give it a thumbs up and share it everywhere you can on Facebook. If you were watching it on Facebook. If you liked the broadcast and you gave it a thumbs up on Facebook, go to the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel and find it and share it everywhere you can off of Facebook. If you're on X, take it and go to X and share it. If you're on Threads, go over to Threads and share it. If you're on Blue Sky, go over there and share it. I'd like to get it shared on Truth Social as often as I can. I'm working hard with Streetlock to try to get it so that it goes live on Streetlock every day. It's taking a long time. It will take a long time, but we're trying to figure out ways that I can do that. STREETLOC.com, streetlock.com, STREETLOC.com. Go over there and join a very well-run conservative patriot social media network. None of the BS crap on Facebook like shadow banning and deleting just because they don't like something that you say. You know, social media the way it's supposed to be enjoyed. So go over there and look. And I will do my best to pass it around as a podcast everywhere I can get a podcast. We're working hard to share it on X while it's live. If we can't, I will take it over to X and see if I can post the link and share it on my @BoogieWT account. I was doing that. We were linked with StreamYard. We were linked to my profile so that we could be live. You couldn't use the live chat, but you know, we just worked on that and done something that we could eventually. I can't afford the $11 a month. I'm sorry right now. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. I cannot afford the $11 a month to be able to be live on X. I would have to do something. Either merchandise, which I keep telling people I don't really want to do, or something to raise it. And I'm sorry that that's the honest God's truth. I'm disabled. I'm on a limited income. My wife and I are on a limited income. It's expensive to be disabled, and I just can't do everything that I want to do. I wish I was funded like Bongino and Jones and Bannon, and could just say, "Oh yeah, put us there, 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 put us everywhere." Buy the best computer, just put us everywhere. You want to be a part of the Boogie with the Bull morning caffeine broadcast Monday, Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern? All you got to do is let me know. I would make sure you get the link. Links go out at or before 9:45 a.m. I try to get everybody in the studio at 9:50 so that we have a chance to all talk together before we go live. And then we go live at 10 o'clock. I understand everybody can't do it that way. Some can't join it at 10 o'clock. Some join it at whatever time. That's fine. There's exceptions for those when those come up. A little more liberal on Tuesday and Thursday night at 7 p.m. because we just come on and do open discussions. We talk about anything. Live chat, people suggest stuff. We suggest stuff. And we just go from there. So grabbing people out of the live chat and bringing them onto the broadcast is part of that broadcast. 7 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday and Thursday nights here on Facebook. That's part of what we're trying to get. That one we're trying to get on X. We're trying to get on Streetlock. We're trying to get it everywhere we can. Right now, the best I can do is put it from the YouTube channel and take it and post it everywhere I can as a podcast. Maybe if we get some help people that want to help us, that would be great. And we can't compensate you with money, but maybe we'll throw a bunch of merchandise at you for helping, and maybe even have you on the broadcast. If you want to be on the broadcast, all you got to do is tell me that you want to be on a broadcast. Come on, try it. You have a good time. If you want to do the next one, come on and do the next one. Eventually, I hope you will have tried both Monday, Wednesday, 10 a.m., Tuesday, Thursday, 7 p.m., and decided you really like it. And then anytime, any one of the four that you're available to do, you're more than welcome to come on and do. Sometimes we pass people along to other broadcasts as well. And speaking of other broadcasts, tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern, the American Rebellion, which runs Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, downstairs on the American Rebellion blogger book. Somewhere over on Rumble and somewhere over on X. Please talk to Jerry during the American Rebellion broadcast. Ask him, and he will tell you where it is. One of these days, I will write it down so that I have it in front of me, and I know. And if you do a broadcast similar to Boogie with the Bull, Morning Caffeine, or Boogie with the Bull, Open but Uncensored, you're more than welcome to come on and talk about your broadcast, and we go from there. A lot is going to happen in the next 14 days, so please pay attention. Please pay attention and be ready to deal with whatever comes. Make sure you and your family are safe. I'm Dave Gorman, Double B's for Victory. This Boogie with the Bull broadcast can come to an end. You've been watching Boogie with the Bull Monday Morning Caffeine, a copyrighted presentation of the No Budget Broadcasting Company. I don't mean take it, share it everywhere. Anywhere. And if you want it somewhere, but you don't want to go through the process of sharing it, let me know. And if I'm a member of that social media network, I will do my best to try to make sure that we get it shared there. We aren't the biggest, we aren't the wealthiest, meaning that we don't have all the money behind us that the big boys and girls have behind them. We just kind of do it our best. We do it our best. And we have a lot of great people that help me to come onto the broadcast. Randy Rhodes, Chuck Cook, Regina Messier, David Navarre does a lot of technical help with me and the Windows 11 laptop. I appreciate all of that. But, we do the best we can with what we got. We do the best we can with what we got. God told me a long time ago, don't worry about what you don't have. When you need something better, I will give you something better. He gave me the Windows 11 Pro laptop, so get comfortable with using it as best as you can. Anyway, go out there and make it a fantastic, fantastic day. It went up from 68 degrees. Now it is 72 degrees here in Jacksonville, Florida. We call up the weather. 73 degrees outside, mostly cloudy and windy. Winds, whoops, there you go. I was beautiful. 73 degrees, mostly cloudy and windy. Winds 18 miles an hour, humidity 66. Feels like it's 70 outside, so it's a little brisk in the air out there. Almost 10 miles, visibility, UV index is 1. Barometric pressure 29.87. 29.7 inches, I guess. Dew point is 63, 61. Anyway, so it's going to rain later today, so if you go out today, take your umbrella with you. And that's the best advice we can give you. Anyway, I'm Dave Gordon. We will see you, like I said, we were around tonight, 7 p.m. downstairs on the American Rebellion blogger page. It is the American Rebellion, Jerry Michaels, Nikki Young. I can name off a whole lot of people. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. Robert Wallace, the Nelson Madman, Jen Woodruff, the Homeschooling Mom, me, Randy Rhodes, Chuck Cook has joined. And if you want to join, come to the live chat. And if you come to a point that you think you want to come on, ask Jerry for the link, and maybe he'll send you the link and you'll come on. And we'll go from there. Anyway, that's it. The dogs are howling. Studio B, they want something. Dog and cat, Lola and Delilah want breakfast. It's probably lunch now. So go there and make it a fantastic